Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. I'm gonna try to hurry up and be quick with this episode because I'm about to stream here in a moment. But no, what I wanted to talk on is something a little serious, talking on like people like Kyle Rittenhouse. And, overall, like with him and in the situation where the guy was jogging and those three white guys, like, was it three or four? I think it was, I don't know. But anyways, those white guys that chased them down, shot and killed them. And then Kyle Rittenhouse, he shot those Black Lives Matter protesters. You know, they're no different than, like, people like George Zimmerman. You know, and for those that are unfamiliar with the George Zimmerman situation, I don't know if you guys pay attention to that stuff too much, but anyway, so some years ago, I think this happened back in 2012, so I was like 15 at the time when this had went down. But anyways, there was this kid named Trayvon Martin, and some of you guys may know who he is, or you may have seen his name traveling around like through the internet when this like Black Lives Matter stuff, when people are talking about it heavily, like more so when like a situation goes down. And it's just one of the many names that get brought up. But anyways, so I think Trayvon Martin was either walking home or he was waiting for a friend. Regardless, he was minding his own business. He wasn't hurting anybody. He wasn't doing anything to anybody. He was just out minding his own business. George Zimmerman, thinking he's like a police officer, thinking he's neighborhood watch or whatever what was crossing his mind, seeing Trayvon Martin, called the cops. The cops called 911, and the operator was telling him like, just stay in your house, and like cops will be on the way and stuff. And he still felt like he needed to go out and do something about it, so he ends up following Trayvon Martin, and I think Trayvon Martin had, realized what he was doing, somehow like circled around George Zimmerman and confronted him about it, and then one thing led to another, and they started fighting. Well, George Zimmerman had a gun, and you can hear so somebody had dialed, because when they had heard all the stuff that was going down, you can hear a kid crying, and it was Trayvon Martin. And that's the thing that upset me about that case, was that George Zimmerman was trying to say that was him. And I'm like, you sound like a kid. You sound more like a kid crying than the kid that was actually there. And, it was just, it was so dumb when he was saying that. But anyways, but no, you can hear like in somebody else's 911 call, you can hear a kid crying, and then you just hear a gunshot. And then that was at that point when George Zimmerman had shot and killed Trayvon Martin. And then, it was just after that, I had to say that's when I feel like that Black Lives Matter and all this stuff had like really started going crazy. I mean, it already was, but it's when like I had kind of started like, realizing how serious this stuff is. Because you can literally be out, okay? If you are black, you can be out and about minding your own business. And if somebody feels like that their life is in danger, if they feel like that their life is being threatened from the comfort of their own home, I'm minding my own business, but they could be in the comfort of their own home and somehow feel like their life is in danger and then harass me and then proceed to either attempt or actually do it, but kill me. And it's scary to think that. It honestly, it is. To know that, there's people out there that are like that. And I'm like, I'm not even looking in your direction. I'm not doing anything to you. But you proceed to chase me down because you feel like that something will be accomplished by that. No, nothing is being accomplished. Nothing was accomplished when George Zimmerman did it. Nothing was accomplished when Kyle Rittenhouse did it. Or when those guys that chased that jogger down. Like, nothing is accomplished. And there's probably so many other situations where that stuff has happened, where people were just out and about minding their own business. I mean, I see the videos where nobody, is like getting hurt, and it's, just black people out and about minding their own business. And then, some racist approaches them, and they're all like, oh, what are you doing out here? I'm calling the cops. You don't belong. Some dumb stuff like that. But that's overall why I'm doing this podcast episode, because there's no difference from Kyle Rittenhouse and George Zimmerman. My thing is this. If they claim that they, wasn't racist before all this stuff has happened, I know that they're racist now. And then the thing is, it's like you set and the reason why I say that is because you set yourself up to where and my thing is this, it can really be anybody, but a black person, or even, Kyle Rittenhouse's situation, it's like you went to a whole Black Lives Matter protest with the intent to, kill somebody. My thing is this, if you wasn't there to kill nobody, why bring a weapon? What was the whole reason of bringing a weapon? And I know people are going to try to, come up with their stuff to say, oh, well, he was doing this, he was doing, no. If you felt like that your life was going to be in danger, you should have never even showed up in the first place. I know if there's a place out there where my life is going to be in danger and I need to bring a weapon for my safety, I'm not going out there. There's no reason for me to go out there. And I remember when so many people, they were getting on me about making fun of Kyle Rittenhouse. And they were all like, have you ever shot anybody before? No, you haven't. No, my thing is this. If it came down to it and I had to defend myself, okay. But that's usually going to be when somebody is attacking me. Like, I'm not traveling out my way to go somewhere and get attacked or whatever. No, I would have to be in the comfort of my own area and somebody has to approach me and try to attack me. Then if I have a weapon to defend myself, I'm obviously going to use it. But I'm not going to go to a Trump rally, claiming, oh, my life is in danger, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then, start shooting and killing people. Like, oh, well, my life was in danger. I felt scared. I felt frightened. Because people are going to look at me and they're going to be like, why would you show up? Why would you... All of the questions that we are literally asking Kyle Rittenhouse, those would be the same questions that people would ask me. I know they would. I know for a fact they would. I think I said that before, but I know they would. I know they're not going to, just let me off easy. I went to a Trump rally and shot and killed Trump supporters? No. I will never be let off easy. I would even look at myself and be like, bro, you do not deserve to get let off easy. Why? Because I went out of my way to, for whatever reason. It's like my thing is, okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse, his whole situation was that, he wanted to protect, that area and stuff where he was at. And I'm like, bro, do you understand how much of the world is screwed up? There's so many areas in this world that needs protection. It's like, let's see you try going out there with that same attitude out in Chicago. Go to places like O Block. Go to places like California. I heard there's a rise in gang violence in Los Angeles. How come you're not going out there? And I'm pretty sure he has the money now with doing interviews and all this other stuff. It's my thing is go out in them places and try to serve and protect. No, he went to an area where he knew that people wasn't going to be having weapons. He decides to bring a weapon because that's another thing that doesn't make any sense. You're going to an area where people don't even have weapons. I'm saying the worst that they're doing is picking up a rock or a brick and throwing it through a window or setting something on fire. They don't have guns where they're shooting it at people and stuff. So I'm saying and then that's another thing where it's I could, maybe it would have made sense if it was just a war zone, people there's two different sides, people got guns and they're just shooting left and right, then it probably would have made a little bit more sense. You literally went to a protest. Yeah, you had your rioters on the side, but at the end of the day, people were protesting. No weapons. And you went out there anyways. So how is that any different than, and I have to say, it's probably worse in George Zimmerman's situation because a kid was just going home. He was, I think, Trayvon Martin, I think he was maybe a year or 2 years older than me. I don't think he was that much older than me, but I think that's why it kind of it hit home for me, and that's why that case has always stuck with me, because it was cases like his. Well, I know there's the other cases with police officers and stuff, where, they wrongfully shoot and kill somebody, but it's, just these situations, but it's that, and then it's with the, with Trayvon Martin, it's him being such a young age, it's stuff like that, that's going to stick with you, especially, when you're a kid going home at times, especially at that time when it was 2012, I'm 15, I was in high school. So I'm saying, that stuff lingers with you. And then it's with this situation with Black Lives Matter protesters, there's numerous occasions where I wanted to go out to those protests. I wanted to go to Seattle and, protest. I wanted to, like, be in that environment because I felt like I would have been at home in that environment. It's like, why? My thing is this. I'm not going to look at somebody in this protest and start fighting with them. We're all standing together to protest something. So why would I feel like that my life is in danger? Like, that's the thing why I just didn't understand what Kyle Rittenhouse is like. You're going to an area where it's like, bruh, you can literally, my thing is this. He claims that he's all about, like, because when he was in that interview and he was talking about, I threw away LeBron James jersey, some dumb stuff like that. He claimed that that he wasn't racist and that he's all for Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, so why would you go out there with a weapon? My thing is this. You could have left a weapon at home, all right? You could have left a weapon at home. You could have literally talked to those people. That's the issue in this world, is that people aren't willing to talk. It's like you're this young-minded, dumb kid, all right, thinking that, I got this weapon. I'm like, for whatever reasons. And my thing is like, what, like, why? You could have just sat down. You could have talked with those people. It's like, my thing is this. If they're destroying stuff, they're destroying stuff. You ain't got no control over that. None whatsoever. You just gotta allow them people to destroy that stuff. I'm saying, like, in Seattle, everywhere was just getting destroyed. This was the city that I worked in. This is the city that I love. Seattle. Bro, this is my hometown. You think I'm going to go out there with a gun and be like, oh, nah, stop it. Leave the Nordstrom store alone. Leave the Nike store alone. Leave all these places and, all that. No, it was crazy, though, like, to change subject because now I remember when that, them riots was going on in Seattle last year and they had some Samoan dudes in front of that Nike store. And so there's a, like, popular Nike store out there in Seattle. And, they was like, they wasn't fooling around with that Seattle store. So I was like, nah, that Seattle store, they fine. They good. I'm like, they don't need my help. But, back on this subject where it's like, that was my hometown. You literally, I don't know if the place that he traveled to, was his hometown or whatever and stuff. But I'm like, Seattle is my hometown. Like, all it is just one bus ride out there, I'm there. One train ride out there, I'm there. And I know people are going to probably be like, oh, well, you don't love your city if you ain't going to go out there and defend it. What am I defending? I don't own this city. I'm just for this city. I just love my city. You know how many people love Seattle, but they're not like, they probably live like across the country or in a different country, but they love Seattle. I'm saying, like, people are making it seem like that. I have to, like, be arm myself at all times when I go out there in Seattle in case I see something. I'm like, you know what they have out there? Police officers. So if some stuff is going down, guess who's there to do something? Police officers. See, here's the thing. If a cop is, doing his job correctly and he ain't going out, like, putting his knee on the back of black people's necks and shooting and killing them and all of that, like, he is for the people. Okay, those are the cops that needs to be serving and protecting, our cities and our states and our countries and everything else, But I'm saying, like, what am I supposed to do? I have no weapon. Even if I did have a weapon, it's like, there's cops out there already with weapons. So what can I possibly do? Be there for support? No, my thing is this. If you want to do things the real legitimate way, become a police officer, or offer your assistance. If they don't need your assistance, go home. But that's it. That's all that you have to do. But all the extra stuff, it's like, bruh, for what? And that's why I'm like, that's, this Kyle Rittenhouse situation just doesn't sit well with me. Because I'm like, nah, you went out of your way to a protest, shot and killed people, and you just got go free. Like, and here's the thing where it's like, that's why I overall compare him to George Zimmerman, because it's like, you're going to have to live like George Zimmerman. You're going to have to be like, and here's the thing. I honestly believe that, he's going to have a tough life. Kyle Rittenhouse, he is definitely going to have a tough life. It's not going to be easy for him. It's not going to be, walks in the park for him. No, this man is going to have a legitimate tough life because you put yourself in a situation that you didn't even need to put yourself in. So now what do you think is going to happen? You think everything is going to be... I guess, like, there's some kids that overall didn't even want to be in the same class with him. It's like some online class, and they saw his name, and they was all like, oh, nah, I don't want to be in this class if that's who that is. I'm like, and honestly, I probably wouldn't want to be in that class either. Cause I'm like, it's just somebody like him. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be your partner. I don't want to do no assignments with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. You stay on one side of the classroom, I'm gonna stay on my own side of the classroom. Don't say nothing to me. Don't talk to me. I'm like, nah. So my thing is like, it's stuff like that where it's like, eventually at some point in time, we are gonna have to forgive Kyle Rittenhouse. As people, we're gonna have to do that. But do I have to talk to him? No. It's like, do I, at some point in time in my life, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to forgive this guy, but he has to know that he did wrong, and I think that's why it's just not sitting well with me, because he think he did something right. Him smiling, laughing, and all this other stuff, like, you think you did something right, and it's like the day that he admits that he did something wrong, and I think that's when he's more like welcoming, like like in and things, like where it's like, okay, I can welcome this guy and be like, all right, so it's like, okay, so let's build yourself back up, but you screwed up. Like, that's one thing for sure, bro. You screwed up. There ain't no other ways around it. But it's I feel like as long as he's going around and he's like, saying that he did something good, because I'm saying, like, who goes out? This ain't no different than, like, and I think, did I mention the O.J. Simpson situation? I think I remember what was I talking about O.J. Simpson for? I think it was Kyle Rittenhouse, and how he was like, because my thing is this, you're in this courtroom crying, but sometime later you're doing an interview talking about how you don't support LeBron James anymore. You think, like, over a situation like that, you would be distraught. You would be like, and I honestly, he doesn't seem like somebody that's suffering. I'm like, so that's why I was like, them little, like, fake crying he was doing in court, and all his little fans that's only gonna be here for the minute, then gonna probably be supporting some other person. It's like, yeah, all I know is at the end of the day, ain't nothing good gonna come out of this situation. So prayers out to him, and prayers out to his little fan base that he got going on. But anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and peace.